Salami lake buns. Discord, it's a thing. It's where you can send your anyway, it's where you can send requests to me directly. You get guaranteed notifications when I put stuff up. And on top of that, on live streams, you can join me in the voice chat in case you want to yell at me or something like that. That being said, this one is from Commander Mango from Atmosphere. You can't imagine how much fun we're having, Slug and Ant. Okay. That being said, let's see what he's got for us.
Nah, I lost my iPhone, man. I don't have it. Come on, man. I come here every day, man. You know me, man. Come on, man. You know me, man. And all she wanted was a little bit of solid. Feels like love, it doesn't matter what you call it. Heal those cuts, I hide them underneath the polish. Break another promise and take me as a hostage. Hold your job down and let the zombies crowd around. Thinking mommy's got that it's a cop's town. Keep it safe for me while I chase a fantasy. Swerving through the galaxy, searching for a family. Happily surrounded by planets and stars. She was stuck uptown, you was landing on Mars. It's all fucked up now, caught your hand in the jar. Another small step back, put that man in the bar. Spill a little bit of blood on the street for love. It goes to those that know that they drink too much. And hold your own glass up to the heavens. Take a little time and try to count the seconds.
You know what? Yeah, this sounds exactly like what it sounds like. Pour me another. It's alcohol addiction. That's what it seems to be talking about. Which, I guess I know a thing or two about. Maybe, kinda. It was never truly established all the times because in the Army, at least every unit I've been in, it is mandatory to go through a few things. Every year, psychological stuff. Every year, mental stuff. Every year, awareness stuff and training, and women can do whatever they want and men get punished for all of it, no matter what it is. You know, therapy where women are told that they can do no wrong and men are told they do all the wrong. And then like alcohol awareness, alcohol classes, and all that kind of stuff, right? And it makes sense the reason why they do that, because they want to cover all their bases. It's for them to cover their ass, essentially, right? So that command can always point to everyone else and be like, look, we did all the things that should work and this still happened, which means it's all on the soldier, okay? Stop looking at us up here. That being said, you know, like, it was never established with me because it depended on who I talked to. Some people, they were like, a gallon a night? You're not dead? And I'm like, nope, I don't feel no different. And they're like, you're insane. Well, I guess so. And then others are like, oh, you got an addiction. And I'm like, okay, explain the field. And they're like, oh, you have no choice. Oh, no, there's plenty of choice, and I busted plenty of soldiers for trying to bring alcohol with them out into the field, as well as other substances. You dirty freaking gremlins, you. That being said, right, actually, what's always been going on is that I was just born with a stupendously high tolerance to anything I imbibed, ever. So, there's that. While everybody else can have a few shots and they're already pretty much loaded, I gotta have a whole gallon. Yeah, it was really expensive. Part of the reason why I quit. Although, do you call it quitting or just stopping? Because quitting means addiction. So you have to quit the addiction. But stopping just means you're stopping doing something you did. Or is there no difference there? Well, you let me know what you think. Then again, yeah, this sounds like it. You know, being a ghost out on the street. You know, waiting for the drink, count the seconds.
Goes, pour me another, so I can forget you now. Pour me another, so I can commend you now. Pour me another, so I can remember how true that I am to this addiction of you now. Pour me another, so I can forget you now. Pour me another, so I can commend you now. Pour me another, so I can remember how true that I am to this addiction of you. Drink it all away, numb it down to none. hunger and the struggle. 2 for the fool trying to pull apart the puzzle. 3, now I smile while I wait for your rebuttal. By the 4th shot, I'm just another child in a bubble.
Damn, Skippy, that's so true. I know too many who would just drown themselves every chance they could because they were still kids, right? Which makes sense. There's not a lot of parenting happening nowadays, at least not willingly. And then the bit of parenting some people get is more like just custodianship with no love and no hope and no help. I know too many that have gone through that shit. That's why, they called us NCOs daddy, in the military. Because quite often we'd get kids. And it didn't matter what age they were. They were still kids. They were raised by the system, didn't have no proper parenting, and then they met me. And yes, a few times you gotta take these guys out back and teach them a lesson, because ain't nobody told them no in their whole life. And they just thought rebelling against the system was life. And then you beat them within inches of that life and make them rethink everything. Because they got the supremely delayed ass whooping that their parents and daddy never gave them. Right? Better that the parents discipline the children or the world will. And quite a few times, right? I had to step up and be like, look, kid, you're screwing up. You're here to do something. You're not doing it well. And you got beef. All right, well, I'm hungry. Didn't matter their size or nothing. They were kids. But afterwards, they actually became grown adult men. And a lot of them are doing very well right now, thankfully. Much better than when they first met me. That being said, that kind of fell off the last, I want to say 5-ish. No, more, closer to almost decade of my career, the last one. That being said, right, I know a lot about that. I know guys who, they go out. And me, sometimes I'd volunteer to be the one to go see where everybody's at and what they're doing. Because everybody has to submit a plan of what they're doing, where they're going, who with, and what, where, and why. Right? And do a safety, do safety, a safety matrix and all that type of shit. Risk matrices and risk assessments before they went and did anything. And so did everybody else they had to go with, right? And then if we found out they lied to us, that was a different heap of trouble. But that way we could go and check on them, make sure they didn't get into too much of stupid ass, dumb shit. And I'd end up quite often having to drag some oversized child off somewhere, sobering them up, save them from doing some dumb shit. Couple times having to still beat them. Unfortunately, it happens. They're like, oh, whatever. And I can beat you outside. And it's like, well, you asked for it. So, there you go. And then other times, there'd be guys who would go out trying to take their mind off shit, trying to have a good time. And the only coping mechanism they had was to get wasted. And I find them like blocks away from where they said they'd be. Nobody else really knew where they went. Nobody really bothered to check on them, and that's a failure of everybody else. And then I'd find them in a little puddle, which that happened too. Sometimes they were able to get over it thanks to them doing stuff like that, but quite often I would try to get guys to instead do that with someone instead of going out to do it. Find someone you trust and do it with them. And it's got to be never in my entire career did it ever turn out well that any of us confided in our wives. Not a single time can I think of that going well. Because they're not us. They're not doing the same things as us. And they don't know. They have an idea of what we do. But they know shit about what we do. or what I did, and will probably soon enough continue to do. Right? And it's a coping mechanism in many ways. Because a lot of people don't have another outlet to do so. They're lost, forlorn, no direction. They're just in the uniform doing a job. And then they feel like they got nobody to confide in or talk to about it. Which does happen a lot. The stats are the stats for a reason. That being said, I am proud to say, to toot my own horn, that I never had anyone take themselves out under my leadership. Not one. At all. Now, I've had peers do it. Until we were a group, we have the 12. I've had fellow soldiers do it. Friends, brothers. But no one under my supervision. Ever. And I put in a lot of work to ensure that was not going to be the case, right? That I would not have a casualty under me if I had any control over it. That being said, yeah, there's a lot of people that become overgrown kids once they've imbibed enough, because that's what they are inside. Overgrown kids. And that just is what it is. That being said, I'm going to stop ranting so much. Let's keep going.
Trying to play with the passion and the placement, just to see what these people let them get away with. Still trying to climb a mountain for you. Hammer in my hand, still pounding on a screw. She don't listen, so he don't speak no more. Nobody's winning, cause neither is keeping score. Don't wanna think no more, just let me drink some more. Pour me another, cause I can still see the floor. Pour me another, so I can forget you now. Pour me another, so I can commend you down. Pour me another, so I can remember how true that I am to this addiction of you now. Pour me another, so I can forget you now. Pour me another, so I can commend you down. Pour me another, so I can remember how true that I am to this addiction of you. Live life tipsy, stiff if it don't fit right with me. Kiss my whiskey, lift my lips, press to my angel. Swallow it and leave an empty bottle on the table. Let the past fall, making faces at that clock on the back wall. Count down the last call. Ask all of these people that make sounds, how long does it take for the pace to break down? Another lonely little trophy. If only I could walk a straight line, I'd make it home free. And everybody in this bar thinks they know me and my story, like pour me. Pour me another, homie. I can count the days till you come back, or I can follow them sun rays down to the train tracks. I can stumble drunk over hope and love, or I can just keep drinking until I sober up. Now,
Man, I remember drinking as a kid. And, without giving too much away, there's certain areas, right, where you'd have mostly dive bars or what's called the spots back in the day. South Central and stuff. And there were certain places you're not supposed to be there, you're not supposed to go, you're trespassing. Some of it's technically, federal property, some of it's technically city, whatever. But that one line spoke to me about, walking out to the tracks. Which there are some places that were nearby during that time. They weren't too terribly far away. I don't know about now. I haven't lived there for. But I remember, early morning walking, talking, chatting, chilling, relaxing. I still have a bottle with me. We're all youths. Gotta have it in the bag. Gotta have it in the bag. Cops won't bother you as long as you ain't doing no dumb shit. Unless they're corrupt cops, then they grab you up and beat you because you're in the wrong place. Or they scoop you up and take you, put you in, and then, give you the night and then release you next day just to screw with you. But, walking through them areas, parts of the levees or, where they have some of the different commercial traffic, some of those areas as well. And just being on the tracks or the top of that levee or, seeing the whole city during sunrise and them orange rays of light just bouncing off of all them tall ass freaking buildings in the day in the center in the in the distance over there, and it's like go. All right, let's go home. Usually I had to carry somebody, you know. And then I'd have to like lay him on the bench or some shit and get some pizza real quick. Or see if there was one of the roast coaches nearby or one of the taco trucks. Man, oh man. Nostalgia trip, I swear to God. Inner city ghetto kids. Hopefully a lot of us from back then are doing better now. Because all the ones I knew from back then are dead.
Pour me another, so I can forget you now. Pour me another, so I can come let you down. Pour me another, so I can remember how true that I am to this addiction of you now. Pour me another, so I can forget you now. Pour me another, so I can come let you down. Pour me another, so I can remember how true that I am to this addiction of you. Shots and cans, couches and floors and drunk best friends, bottles and whores and tattoo cans, cities and secrets and cats and things.
When he mentioned couches, that reminds me, like, whoever's place was closest we go to first. But sometimes somebody's parents would just lock the door and be like, we don't want to deal with you freaking retards right now. They'd lock the door and not let us back in. The more stickler parents back then. But sometimes, sometimes we get to someone's house somewhere. Or a friend of a friend's house, like, hey, Ricky and D freaking, their cousins are up already. So it's like, we can go crash. And then just go. All of us showing up like, hey! Hey! I'd be helpful so that, we don't piss them off too much. Oh, you need help in the kitchen? Hell yeah. Let me make some shit real quick. Besides, or we'd bring food, Gotta bring a peace offering because you're bothering people early in the freaking morning. And everybody had those big, giant, long couches in the family room, and everybody just pile on. God damn. Those are dangerous, horrible times, but sometimes really fun, too. Rest in peace, y'all. Rest in peace.
Good times, laughter, bad decisions, strippers and actors and average musicians, mornings after, it walks of shame. The bartender knows me by my real name. Sing it.
Man, oh man. Nostalgia trip. Nostalgia trip. The inner city ghetto kid that what's left of him and me appreciates it. That being said, so that's one was from Fire Mango. Pour Me Another from Atmosphere, Slug, and Ant. You can't imagine how much fun we're having album, I guess. I liked it. It was pretty cool. But that being said, what did y'all think? Y'all let me know in the comments down below. All right, you know what time it is. Be good. Be safe. Make good life for yourselves. Don't compromise safety and security for nobody and nothing. Death and disaster is only a second away. Do what you can today, and I will see you on the next one. I am Badger7 Actual, the formerly homeless veteran. Blast Cat Badger, out.